Andy, Jamie, how's it going?
Hey, Scott. Good, man. Thank you. And hello, Jamie, my buddy. How you doing?
Hey, what's up, guys? Yeah, it's felt kind of like a Monday all day since the market was closed today. But hey, the good news is
Yeah.
tomorrow's Friday.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's kind of a wonky week, man. With the Wednesday being off, you don't see that much.
That is true. That is true.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today, taking time out of your important day to visit us here. And I think hopefully we won't disappoint. So let's get started. And hello, Mike C. Let's get started and go over the disclaimer real quick. All right, you're going to be seeing and hearing some stuff in here about charts, setups, maybe some symbols and ticker symbols and things like that. But guys, nothing should be construed as investment advice. It's for educational purposes only. If you are seeking investment advice, you might want to look for a stockbroker, an RIA, somebody who can do that legally. So, but we're going to have some fun and hopefully share some knowledge that will help you become better traders. That is our goal in here. Before we move on to the content today, let's talk about, well, this is content. Let's talk about the 5-star support education and training. You regulars that are in here that's been with us for a while, just bear with me for a sec. Guys, we really pride ourselves on bringing you incredible support, education, and training. You can see here the traders room at the top of the list. If you haven't been in there, it is free for everyone, even if you're not a TI subscriber. Great place to hang out. Some incredible traders in there, and our moderator Barry does a great job of keeping the room tame and under control. And at the same time sharing some great content and some valuable information on using our software and to profit in the marketplace. We have webinars every day in the 5 Eastern time slot. Jamie and myself and Steve, usually 2 at a time, head up the majority of those, but on Wednesday we throw you a treat with our CEO Dan Merkin and our CTO Brad Williams, and that's always a great hangout to see what's coming down the pike. And because we are constantly having new versions come up, so you need to stay on top of it and get in there. Friday support session. This is every Friday. We'll have another one tomorrow starting at 11 a.m. Eastern time. This is just a straight up Q&A forum where you guys can come in and ask questions and we'll answer them. And it's a great place to learn. If you have any questions, or if you don't think you have any questions, come in there and I guarantee you're going to hear something that you did not know and you can put to use. So once again, that's tomorrow at 11. Okay, you need to register for that, so be sure you do that. All right, we don't stop there. We have TI University now. We've had it for some time. And basically what this is, it's a 4-part course that begins every Monday at 12 Eastern time, and we graduate each class. Start out with beginners 101 and 201. You can see it goes to intermediate 301 and then advanced on 401. So these are 1 hour long curriculum, and then excuse me, at the end of that we always have time for Q&A after each one of those. And these are not evergreen, they're live, so you can come in and ask questions as we go through the curriculum. So if you haven't taken that and you're still feeling behind, get in there. It's a great place to learn more. All right, Brokerage Plus. I'm going to be talking a lot about this today. It's part of the majority of the content that I have is on Brokerage Plus. You may be asking, well, what is it? Well, if you want to find out more, go to trade-ideas.com/beta. I will tell you this. It's a way for you to take strategies, your strategies, and in the future, Holly strategies, and auto trade them. It's a great product. I have been testing it now for several weeks, and I'm going to show you some cool stuff today. But the free Brokerage Plus has come and gone. Everybody got plenty of notice. It ended on November 15th. Going forward, there is a fee. Scott will talk about that at the end of this webinar. But I can tell you this, it's worth every bit of that fee. So stay tuned for that. All right, agenda for today. We're going to have the market recap as we always do, followed by the Holly recap. Jamie will take over and show you some cool stuff today on the max profits that you saw in Holly today. Now, whether Jamie likes to say you took those cookies or not, it was up to you, but there was definitely some alpha to be had today. And then we're going to have more brokerage plus fun. All right, we're going to talk about man with machine, swaying with the market. This is kind of a term I came up with years ago when Steve and I used to have swing scalping. Well, another method is what I like to refer to as swaying, where you just kind of, Dan Merkin does this a lot, where you may enter several positions and you just kind of flow, with the market. Scott, will you mute your keyboard there? All right. And then talk about, how you might want to set up some long and short strategies and see which ones fire. That's a way for you to not kind of come in with ideas of what the market should be doing today, and maybe you can put both long and short strategies in there and just manage them and see in which one. That's kind of what I did today, and I'll have a lot more on that. And then gentleman came into a chat room with me today and talked about, I didn't mean to do that, sorry. Talked about, where can you get some good strategies, and I want to talk about Channel 4, guys. I don't think people are spending enough time in there. It's not like we have all of our best stuff rat-holed and we're not sharing with you. Everything is in there, and I'm going to show you how you can get some good ideas. You can take them and make them your own, back test them, and then eventually, use them in the Brokerage Plus. So it's going to be fun. Let's back out of this and let's talk about the market a little bit. All right, let me if I can do that. All right, let's pull up the old spiders first and see what we had to look at today. Well, I think it's pretty obvious. I don't think I have to tell everybody. Anybody that has any eye on the market at all, you could see what happened today. We came down and we tested the support right here. And I don't have my Epic pen on today, but that's all right. We'll just use the old markups. But you can see right here, guys, we came down and tested this support once again. Okay, you can see this is where we first hit it. Came down, tested right there a couple of times. Today, we gapped down and tested it again, and we bounced. What does this mean? Well, it was probably frustrating for the bears, to say the least, at this point. But does this mean we're going to go up and, go back to all-time highs? No, I don't think you can say that. We can look back over here earlier and get an idea of what happened after we tested a couple of times right here. There was your one bounce. Of course, we do have some wicks going below that, but for the bodies of it, that's probably a good line to draw. Came down, tested it again, closed each time above this line, and we tried a third time, but did not even get near it, okay? Today, I think, helped out with the big gap down we had in the market. It was way down here. That really probably helped us reach that point today, but nonetheless, after this third attempt back earlier in the year, we had a pretty decent rally off this. Does that mean this time around is going to be the same? I don't think you could say that. We got some different looking, lines right now as far as moving averages go. You can see over here they were kind of sloppy, but for the most part they were kind of going up or still going sideways. Where over here we have a strong downward sloping 50-period moving average trying to go below the 200. Got nowhere near the 200 over here. So, technically, I don't think we're as in good a shape as we were back over here, but, a couple of really good days of trading could change the outlook. I'm not one who's, if you're bullish and you see this candle after we attempt to break this area again, I could see where you can get, kind of get your hopes up, get excited. But with all the damage, that's been done, and with the moving averages now, possibly the 50 trying to break this 200, time will tell, but looks like it might happen. Then you're going to have all the averages stacked bearishly. What I mean by that, you're going to have the 50 below the 200, you're going to have the 20 below the 50, and you're going to have the 10 below the 20. Wasn't really the case over here. Okay, you had really mixed in right here, but the 50 was well above the 200. So, but all that being said, we're kind of just right in the middle of no man's land. So obviously your key levels are this level down here where we bounced today, and of course this level up here where we tried 3 times up here. So we're kind of, you know, in the middle of this range. I don't think there's any reason to get overly optimistic to the upside or get too pessimistic to the downside. It's just we're kind of right in the middle of that range. But I don't think it's as healthy now as it was back over here. But that's just my opinion. And let's not forget what I showed you guys a while back. Okay, this global market watcher. Okay, this is for today. We still got, look at the European stock guide. This, you want to find out where real weakness is right now. We talk about Deutsche Bank, Credit Suisse, a lot of these European banks. Just take a look at these world markets. What do you see down here at the bottom? UK, Germany, and we could throw Australia in there too. They're looking pretty bad. Ireland, Belgium, throw Canada in there too, but Sweden, Italy. So you're seeing a lot of European markets down at the very bottom of this. Oh, great. Thank you, Waleed. He says that's an awesome top list, Andy. Yeah, I shared this a while back. And if anybody wants it, just drop something in the questions panel. I will share it again. But anyway, the point I wanted to make is, you know, the world markets, although some of them a lot off, you know, bottom, I think today probably helped bring a lot of these off the bottom, just like it helped in the market over here. But nonetheless, nothing like we saw back when we were making an attempt to recover in this. A lot of these markets were in the green, in other words, in the upper portion of their 52-week range. We're not seeing that now. Do we have to have that to have our market? No, it's nothing's etched in stone that we can't go up with the other ones going down, but it's far less likely. So we'll see what happens. Maybe they all pull up. I don't know. I'm not very bullish on the market right now, so I'm not going to get excited about that. But I do want to tell you what I saw today, and you know, for the short term, that was kind of encouraging if you're bullish. Yes, I will share that with you. You'll have to. I'll share the ETFs as well when Jamie starts talking about Holly here. I'll share those with you. All right, let's take a look at the Qs. Now, notice Qs today were actually holding up far better than the spiders, and I think that's kind of what gave us a bounce. You could see the Qs actually finished up on the day, you know, not bad at all. Almost 0.75%. And if you look at the intraday, you will see that the Qs were holding up better than the spiders at the time. Spiders, look how much they took out their lows. Look how much lower than they went. And I think what happened is, if you're short the spiders or you're bearish on the spiders, and all of a sudden you look up there and you say, wow, you know, the Qs went to lows and boy, they bounced right back. And I think that's kind of what happened. There was some relative strength today in Techland. Probably some of those beaten up internet companies, Apple, whatever, but this one was holding up pretty well today. Let's take a look at the IWM real quick. IWM, yeah, it kind of looks like the spiders. Actually, it did break its, you can see there, broke its support here, but let's look where it closed. It came back and closed above it. This is when I'm looking at dailies. I don't pay as much attention to wicks as some people do, only because the closing price is what counts to many people. At the end of the day, you come in from a hard day's work and you look at your IRA, it's a closing price that's going to count, not what it did during the day. All right, Jamie, what any knowledge that you'd like to add to the overall market analysis there?
No, I was just, you know, Steve and I were bantering back and forth earlier. I'm like, what's up with the Qs? There looks like the bottom's in over there, and they didn't go touch that other little level, which is interesting. So, all right, we'll see what happens. But they've been so brutalized here lately, you know, the FANG stocks. Is it just a little dead cat action, or, you know?
Yeah,
we'll see. I mean, like you said, right in the middle of no man's land. hey, maybe the market's settling in for a long winter's nap through December.
Yeah.
We're just going to chop back and forth and maybe even tighten up a little bit more
Going
in
into the new
one
year.
area of that channel and see what happens.
That is
In
a
the meantime,
possibility that can actually, yeah, that can really work out because, like we mentioned in the past, normally you don't see too many crashes, or just big, long, accelerated down moves during the holiday season. But hey, don't, uh, don't assume anything when it comes to trading financial markets. That's for sure.
well, funny thing is, Andy, I ran into uh, a guy that runs a lot of money just the other night, last night, actually having dinner.
Hmm.
And of course, it's interesting to hear, this guy works for Merrill. It's just interesting to hear their take. They're like, well, see, this is all overblown, and we got the election year coming up, and all this stuff, and the almanac and everything. And I'm like, yeah, maybe. In any case,
Yeah.
I think we're in for some range-bound movement here. But the good news is, hey, we got the technology to find all the good stuff in
Hmm.
any market, And if you're ready, I'll grab it
Yep.
from you. We'll
Go
talk
right
about
ahead. I'm done.
Holly here for a few. All right, stand by. Okay, you should have eyes on, I do believe.
I got him.
Okay, so let's just take a look over here at the 30-foot view, looking at the channel bar, Holly Grail, Holly 2.0, and Neo. The trade counts over here to the left, so let's count them up. What do we have? 19, 20, 26 trades today, all right? And after it was all said and done, we can see right here which risk mode came out on top for each module. So what do we have? We had the old gray nag, Holly 1.0, the first 7 trades, and finished the day 68 cents. Of course, you need a magnifying glass to see these little equity curve icons here, but what we can do is just kind of take a peep here. So I've got Holly Grail, the original. Check out the risk on equity curve, right? Risk on only beating risk off by about right at 4 cents here. This one just taking its little drawdown period when it's piling into its initial positions, and then boom, not a huge day, but that's the type of movement you want. Look at what's happening if you're holding, if you're trying to hold for an extended move, right? And by the way, 100% short from Holly 1.0, as all of them were, with the exception of one long trade, and I believe that was, in Neo. But you didn't take this one, you got bailed out one more time. You didn't take that one, you got yet bailed out one more time towards the end of the day. So it's good to see the numbers playing out like this from a statistically balanced portfolio today in which you were diversified 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different times. So those are some things to kind of keep in mind as we talk about Holly, her nature. A statistical model that tends to work pretty much most of the time. There's an opportunity to get out with profit, and I do believe the last time we checked, that's part of trading, right? How do you manage the exits? So we've got a couple of things to take a look at real quick here. Now, we always talk about risk on. And just in case there are any new folks out there that might not know what risk on is versus risk off, well, risk off is simply Holly obeying her rule set like you and I do. When we make a trade, we put our stop loss in. Maybe we put a profit target. With Holly, you have those 2 factors, but you also have a timed hold. And she's also got 2 audibles she can call and get out of a winner or a loser early with profit save and reduce risk. And of course, every time she exits, you can see why she exited here. So always like to give the good example of risk on and how you would play that if you see Holly getting out in her risk off mode, but you think there might be more left in the trade. Now, this one just sticks out like a sore thumb, INSP. What'd she do? Well, it says profit save, but by the time she got out, she was flat. She got at the same price she got in. 0 on the risk off mode. And we can see here's the entry signal right here. Trade goes sideways for a little while, 5, 10, 15 minutes, then takes a nice little leg down. Pops right back up here. So she didn't close it out. She didn't take any money here. Gets back up to flat, starts doing its little sideways dance. The longer she sits in a trade and it doesn't go her way, well, she has that option to close it out early, whether it's winning or losing. Now, that's what she did in this case, a profit save. But if we're in the trade and we're seeing we've already been profitable a little bit, now it's starting to sputter around at the entry line, it's always a good idea, in my opinion, to do both when you're trying to get used to this type of activity, right? You could plug out of half with her and keep the other half and risk a reversion back to a break even or keep your hard stop. Now this one wouldn't have been that painful to sit in because right here you're flat, then you're in the money again. But as the day dictated, and if you recall the charts that Andy was showing us, we had the wick at the bottom. A lot of these shorts were continuing and some of them were being pulled around by the market. You never know which one's going to do which until it's in action. But the bottom line is this. We could have stuck to our original stop and tried to extract some of this huge spread between 0 and $1.79. So if we would have kept our hard stop, we would have stayed in. If we would have peeled off some down here maybe and put it back to break even, well, look what would have happened. You would have got punched out of that, right? But this was a glaring opportunity today on this one. Huge spread of $1.79. And of course, we always talk about the ones that work, but this AVYA is a good example of going risk on the second lot and it not working. So here we have the entry up here and pretty much just off to the races. Hey, everybody likes that, immediate gratification. Just march south like nobody's business. And Holly gets out at a pretty good level, clips out 31 cents. And you're thinking, hey, well, I don't know, can't tell a lot from here. Maybe we get some play back down to here. Maybe we push through those wicks. But in any case, you think there might be a little bit more meat left on that bone. So what do? We cover half with Holly. We set the other half back to break even. Marches right back up just like it marched down. And a lot of stocks are doing this today just due to the nature of the movement going and testing those lows on everything except the Qs. So good example of one that doesn't work. But if you took the money on your first lot, you still have a winning trade on your hands. It's no fun getting stopped out for a flat, but that's good risk management, in my opinion. All right, so let's talk about max profit column. It's a column that goes unnoticed a lot of the time, but it's really starting to stick out. I've been keeping my eye on it a lot more lately and starting to add up the tally because risk off is the most conservative mode that Holly has. So we can see how all of these guys finished today: 68 cents, 85 cents, and 45 cents. But what was the most that they were up in the most conservative mode today? And that would be risk off, right? So we can take a look here. Pet Q, Holly booked 40 cents on a profit save, but she was up a maximum of 67 cents in that trade. So what I did is I just went through and I tallied all of these columns, the max profit column, for each of the modules. And the results are pretty impressive because as a trader, it doesn't matter if you're in 10 trades and you're up a bunch, or you're in one trade and you're up a bunch, or you're in 3 trades and you're up a bunch. And if you don't take some of that off the top and it rolls back over and goes negative on you, well, that's an issue, right? That's a big issue because yes, the signal, the entry signal is always important. Do we want to be in the money as fast as we can? Yes, sometimes we have to sit a few wiggles. But if you're up a sizable chunk, and it's different for everyone, it might be 1% of your account equity, 2% of your account equity. If I ever get up this much on my ball of capital, it's in my best interest to peel some out and practice good risk management with the remainder in hopes of making more on the quality plays that I think they might have a little bit more left on the chart, and we're going with the market direction, so forth and so on. But when I went through and tallied all of these columns, 1.0 came in at $2.12 or 2.12 points. 2.0 came in at 3.24 points, and Neo tallied up 2.7, because that's what happened during the day, even though right now Neo finished the day 8 trades down 45 cents, right? But it's about what happens when you're in this basket of trades. You had 8 points of potential in those trades to make your decisions on where you want to exit and preserve the profit and reset your stop losses accordingly, right? So, not necessarily something you can just see from glancing at these blotters, right? But when you put pen and paper to these max profit columns and see the potential that's there, boy, it's very eye-opening. All right, I see the
Jamie,
questions panel kind of going
you
wacky.
mind if I add to that real quick?
Sure.
Yeah, and Jamie, I'm so glad he's doing this because it's going to dovetail nicely because I was kind of doing the same thing when, and trust me, guys, I'm only paper trading right now, but because I'm learning this system. But this is the advantage that you actually have over Holly, because what happened is, and why there was so much max profits and Holly was able to capitalize on that, is because that same support I was showing you, in the spiders, you're looking at that, okay? If you're an astute trader and you're short and you got some nice profits and you look over there and you see that, brick wall of support that the spiders had, hey, so you just start banging out and taking some profits. That's, because Jamie always says Holly's great at entries, but where you're going to have the advantage is on the exits. Holly cannot see, even though she's equipped with tons of parameters and stuff that she's looking at. She's still not, doesn't have the advantage that you do, being able to absorb all the market stimulus out there, all the support levels, what sectors are moving, what's the SPYs doing right now. Just like I mentioned earlier, the SPYs are down on support level, the Qs are starting to go up. So this is where you can come in, man with machine, and you say, wow, I'm seeing a lot of things that tells me it's going to be risky for me to sit in all these shorts right now. Bang, you're getting out. So some great advantages, guys, that you have. And Jamie just showed you there with Max Column, and where you would have an advantage over Holly.
Indeed, indeed. And I see the questions coming in. I'm going to read one of this attendee's questions. Can you give an example of a hedge fund using your system and being profitable? Well, no. Are hedge funds using our technology? Yes. Why are they using it? Obviously because they get benefit from using it, right? But we don't know the ins and outs of hedge fund financials that are our clients. We're a service provider. We provide to them information. What they do with that information is up to them. Obviously, they keep their subscription active because they find value in the information. So what we have here is a tool, all right? It's going to be used differently in the hands of each and every individual, right? You might see value in it in one way while another person sees value in this way. But the bottom line is these signals have statistical weight behind them, right? Now, you can play the whole basket of stocks or you can pick and choose. It's up to you, right? But the bottom line is, what do you want to do as a trader trying to navigate the markets on an intraday basis? Do you want to try to configure your own alerts when there's about 8,000 stocks out there every day? Or what makes more sense? Using a statistical model of this nature that on a day like today spits out, what, 25 trades, I said? Or 26 trades?
Yep.
26 out of a potential of almost 8,000 stocks. It's going to deliver to you 26 that have exceptional statistical probability. I know what I'd pick. I know what I've been picking, right? I know what a lot of people are starting to pick because we can see it in the, the increased subscription rate there, Andy. So, examples of people using our technology to make money, well, unless they're voluntarily sending us their financials, which, hey, nobody does that. We've got a lot of people that send in testimonials, though, and if anybody would like to read those, all you have to do is cruise over to our website. So, Andy, in any case, I was when I tallied these max profit columns, my jaw kind of hit my desk because, I talk about it from time to time, but I have not been tallying these things, right? And, that 8 points of potential in risk off mode, that is phenomenal. So it'll be interesting to see if I go back and do some back tests on that column, and keep. I think some good metrics moving forward that could benefit the users could be derived from that information. In any case, I don't want to keep rambling here. I know you got some more good stuff to show everybody. Is there anything else that you wanted to touch base with on any Holly related material?
No, you hit it good. I mean, I'd like to say this. I mean, there were a lot of shorts today, and people may be saying, well, the market had a nice bounce. Why weren't there any longs? And I looked through the strategies that made the cut, and it was about an equal amount of shorts and longs in there. And the reason being, I think, is let's face it, the rally. The little rally basically it bounced off the bottom, of course. Well, a lot of those strategies are looking for bullish setups. And those setups will not be forming, probably when the stock's bottoming out. No, I'm sorry, this overall markets are bottoming out. And then of course, you had the last hour where a lot of our strategies. There's only a few strategies that will fire off alerts in the last hour. I think power hour shorts and power hour longs are probably the only one.
Yep. And hey, by the way, I was also, things that are weird, like the Qs kind of floating in the air and then going up. Another strange thing is my turbo up family no resistance, which you would think would be pretty dried up on a day like today. Like, look at this AMT and this and this.
Oh, yeah.
So if they were strong, boy, they just kept on ripping. I mean, I couldn't believe all the rippers coming through here that just, looked like they were filled full of helium. But another strange thing, maybe who does it mean anything? I don't know, but I was sure surprised to see all of these guys hitting all-time highs and just doing this. Who knows? Maybe it's rotation. Yeah. I do not know. Anyway, I'm going to kick it back over to you, Andy.
All righty. All right, so let me pull up. What I'm going to pull up here is the AWS, Amazon Workspace, and I hope I'm not getting logged on. Let's see, 14 attempts. Let's see what's going on here, because shoot. Well, maybe it's going to let me. I think I'm okay. All right. So, I want to kind of dovetail, like I said, from Jamie's into what I did today. And some of these strategies are mine. Some of them are Michael Noss's. We share this while I'm waiting on a permission from IB. But nonetheless, I'm going to show you the three strategies that I came in with today, and there were three that I'm working on with different filters in here. And the reason I want to show you these is so you guys will know when you're playing around with these, if you get Brokerage Plus, hopefully you will. It's an incredible tool. And you're hooked up with IB, go ahead and start paper trading. I mean, you can learn a lot because remember, this is going to be less emotional, I can guarantee you, than you sitting there staring at taking one trade and staring at the level 2 and watching every tick and looking at the chart. So what I did today was bottoming tail. Okay, we had kind of a bearish tape yesterday, going into a gap down today. I wanted to use topping tail. Okay, these three are mine. This topping tail, that one's Michael Noss's. This topping tail A is mine, and this topping tail up greater then up 3% in the last 5 days. So a little different strategy. You can see here, this one didn't perform all that well. 4 trades, down 127. This topping tail strategy did very well today, 1148. Bottoming tail long. This is a bottoming tail long strategy. Well, 4 trades, didn't do well at all. And these were all Michael Nassis, so I won't go into them today, but you can kind of get an eye of what the P&L would have looked like today. And I'll show you, I just kind of want to show you this this platform, guys. It looks much like any brokerage blotter would look like, where you have positions. You can do open positions, closed positions. Well, I got out of everything, so these are all closed positions. I can put my 3 strategies in there that I want to focus on, and these were the strategies that I ran today. But what I want to say, guys, is what's really nice about this is if you're just a discretionary trader, and trust me, I've been that for 20 years. I know what it can be like each morning, saying, oh my gosh, got a gap down. Do I need a, is it going to be a big bounce today? What do I do? Well, what's really pleasant about this is I just put these strategies in them and then start watching them fire off. And I'm not risking a whole lot of money. I'm just risking, the max I'm risking here is $200. This one right here, for some reason, got, I'm not sure what happened there, but these two sold, actually lost a little bit more than 200, but I'll have to go back and look at those. But only risking 200. So, and obviously the strategies you come in with, they have stops, so you're not going to get killed. Okay, even though you may be in a lot of positions. And what I'm doing, I'm just watching these things and watching them with the market. And then you have these rapid fire buttons over here. So if, MKC was the biggest winner today, and what I did, and you can see if I'd have held on that all day, that would have been actually a loser. Okay. This is where I'm telling you, as a trader, I mean, a lot of people think they're going to just be able to hook their strategies up and walk away and forget about them. That's going to be tough to do for anybody. Jamie was showing you right there how if you weren't keeping an eye on Holly and exiting at the bottom of the market. Let's take a look at the spiders here today, and let's go to a 15-minute time frame. And just interrupt me if you see a lot of, well, here's the low right here. So if you're not watching this, you're out golfing or something, and this market is rolling over, you have tons of profits, and yet you don't realize, because you're away from your computer, that we're sitting on major support. Okay, this is where I started taking profits today, getting out of them. Some of them I held on to, probably, sell, like Jamie always says, hey, sell half, hang on to half. They didn't work. As the market went higher, got out of the rest of them. But this is what I meant by kind of just swaying with the market. Okay, you're just kind of ebbing and flowing, slowly with the market. You're taking small positions in several trades, and you're kind of watching the P&L. You're watching what the market's doing. You're not having to sit there and look for opportunity, because your opportunity is being made for you with your strategies. Okay. You do the work in your strategies and let that be your opportunity. And then they're just going to fire off automatically. And, but yeah, getting back to swaying with the market. This is a method where it's going to take all the stress of you just feeling like you have to buy one stock, and you're sitting there staring at this stock, watching every tick, watching the level 2, trying to get it to come up. I mean, this is probably a gross of about $1,000, or maybe 800 or something today. And it was, like I said, it's paper trading. I know how paper trading can be, but I can tell this is very true. In other words, I've used systems in the past where you automatically got the best feel, whatever the bid was. But no, you don't get this with IB. I mean, you get it's like real-time trading feels. And your exits are, they're not as crisp as you think they'll be. So it really is like a real-time action. But the point I want to make is, guys, is you can create these strategies. and we will help you. We'll give you, and that's what I'm going to show you in Channel 4, how you can find some really good ones. Steve showed you bouncers on Tuesday and how well it back tested. You can take that, tweak the parameters, make it your own. And I just also want to show you that it's much more. A lot of people are just coming in saying, I want to trade Holly. That is a great idea. It's a good idea to, when Holly comes available, yeah, to let's give it a shot. Let's see what Holly can do. I mean, why? I don't want to argue with those results, but at the same time, guys, because your risk parameters are set and you do the back testing and you can apply some of your own strategies to this. It's not as difficult as you think. And let's see, any more topics? I'm trying to remember what I wanted to say on this. Hold on just one second. Man versus medium, long and short strategy. Yeah, I talked about that. Yeah, and I would highly recommend. I mean, it's easy to come in and say, wow, we've so oversold. I'm going to do all long strategies today. No, I would recommend definitely doing some long and some short. Let's go back to the strategy window here. You can see there was some trend play and Michael Noss's that did pretty well, but for the most part, the shorts did the best. These bottoming tail, of course, I didn't expect to be a lot of bottoming tails in there today because after yesterday's price action, there's not too many stocks. You know, most of them finished on lows, and I knew that coming in. And of course, that these didn't work. But which is going to dovetail into the next segment, guys. Because this is what I want to show you. If you go to Channel 4, because a guy told me today, he called, asked me. He said, Andy, man, I'm just trying to find, some strategies that'll work. Give me a starting point. And like I said, guys, we're not trying to hide anything from you. We've taken, our best alerts and we put them in Channel 4, and you have access to these. And I'll point out some ones where I think maybe you should take a look at and back test them and maybe put them to work. Start paper trading them in the Brokerage Plus. That's the only way you're going to learn how to use this. If you put it, get dirty with it. Start doing some trades, putting in some strategies. We have some tools to help you get that set up. We have some great videos that Michael Noss put together. So one I wanted to show you is Steve showed yesterday, and it is the, what is that? Bouncers. And why there's nothing in here, I do not know today. Something's wrong with this. He's going to have to reconfigure this. Let me pull up the one from the cloud.
Does it have a history at all?
No history. And the one that he shared with them is this one right here, and it had plenty of data in there today. So something's wrong with that. His top reversals are the same way, and that's the flip of bouncers. So we'll have to hit him up and have him to send Brad. He wants to do that anyway. He wants to send the new configurations to Brad anyway, so he can replace them. But anyway, I will drop this one in there. This is one that Steve, if you guys missed it on Tuesday, I'm going to share this with you. This is the one that's back test. Let's just go ahead and back test it again. Just make sure it's the right one. Simulate buy. Yeah, it looks like the right one. Look at these incredible results. All right. So I'm not going to dive into configuration, but this is something, guys, that if you're using now, there was way too many alerts that came out in this today because of the nature of the market. But you're not going to get as many of that usually. But you can just see these results are pretty phenomenal. So take this. I'm going to drop it in the. Let me share from here. I'm going to drop it in the chat window, and you guys can take a look at it. Back test it, and if you have Brokerage Plus and IB and you have paper trading set up, guys, you want to start playing around with it, and this is what you would want to do. You take a few strategies, plug them in there, and like I said, get down and dirty with it. I mean, you're going to have to play around with the product. Another one. Okay, and I would also take a look at, flip this. I don't have it flipped, but you can flip this and also play around with it to bouncers, what he calls top reversals. Maybe catch things on the downside. Another one is horseshoe up and horseshoe down. I would take a look at a couple of those. Those are intraday patterns. These, like I said, these I don't think are optimized in back tests. I'm just giving you some stuff that I think would work on a day trading time frame. One I think you should pay attention to, guys, is it's where I got my topping tail and bottoming tails, is bullish daily candlestick patterns. Now, the only thing bad about this one, guys, is you cannot back test these. And the reason you can't, let's pop one out, okay? And I will show you. We'll do bottoming tail, okay? What these have in here is a symbol list. If I click on add example, existing list, you're going to see they use a daily symbol list called bottoming tail. If you look over here, this says bottoming tail. Well, what that is, it's a symbol list, and they're dynamic. In other words, the symbol list changes every day. So what happens when you go in and you try to back test, what it does, it takes the most recent symbol list and back tests all those stocks in that. So you can't back test this. But what I started doing with it, and I started looking at this on a daily basis. I started going in there and I'm looking at some of the bottoming tails, and also look at the topping tails. I started looking at these and I goes, wow, there's some really good stuff coming through here. So I just took this and dropped it into my Brokerage Plus, and what I'm doing is studying. I'm studying the results and each day, and you know, I'm going to see if it's a viable solution. I mean, a viable strategy. And even though I don't have a back test, you know, I can still look at the results each day, and I've been tweaking it. That's why you saw those 3 different types in there, and just running some tests. So even if you can't back test something, you can still trade it. You know, just wanted to make a point that yeah, you can definitely look at that. I would look at green bar reversal and top and tails out of this bullish candlestick pattern. Drop those in the Brokerage Plus and just, you know, put them to work and play around with them. Trying to see what else. Momentum, I'm going to tell you right now, guys, momentum strategies are very, very difficult. I have played around, I can't tell you, with so many new high momentum strategies, trying to back test them, trying to get it, you know, a really good performance. They're very tough. And, you know, in theory, you don't think they would be, but there's just so many head fakes out there. And not only that, when stocks are, you know, in momentum, you attract a lot of high frequency traders, and they make a mess of those intraday charts, and it's just very tough. I mean, I find some beautiful ones in there, but I also find so many dogs. It's hard to back test and get the performance, you know, really to your liking when it comes to momentum stocks. All right, let's see. I got a question here. Yeah, Diego, if you'd send that one into info. There's a way. I'll show you right quick what to look at. I helped somebody with this earlier today. What you want to look at is, I'm sorry, it's anytime you have an idea, grab an alert window. You want to grab an alert window because it has alerts and filters in it. Okay, and what you want to do is type it in there. Okay, so you're talking about pre-market high. Let's just type in pre-market high, and what you're looking for is above pre-market low or below pre-market high. See, so there you go. What I would do is take stocks that are you know, use this as a filter, and maybe as your alert, use a 5-minute high or a running up, something where you can take this filter and you can put like a bracket like between 90 and let's go with like 98. So now we know that the price is between somewhere in between. Oh, I'm using dollars. Yeah, shit. You probably want to use percentage, pre-market highs, days. Well,
Or
you're
that
gonna have to use.
position of pre-market range might do the trick too,
Yeah,
Andy.
that may do too, but that's what I was thinking of when I actually started doing that. You can use dollars, but probably what you want to do is use the same variables that I put in here. Maybe use that range and use it with a running up or a 5-minute high. You can use both of them actually. I would use probably both of them. So that way when you get an alert, you'll know it's being alerted right below the highs, the pre-market highs. Nor if you will send an email, we'll give you some information on that. We'll give you we don't have the all the results out for the year, but we do have a graph that shows you Holly's performance versus the S&P 500. So, but we don't have the numbers broke down in for publication yet. We'll be doing that soon, though.
Yeah, I think we update those like every quarter, don't we?
Does he do it every quarter now?
I don't know how often David was doing that, but also too, if you go to the website and go down to the blog area, I know they post the Holly performance chart for Holly 1.0 in risk off mode because anything we publish about performance is going to be in risk off mode.
Yep. But all right, guys. Let me see some more questions coming in here. Yes, that Master Blaster has the letter M. That means it's a multi-strategy window. You can't back test an M window, but what you can do is you can pop out each. Let me go back to my default layout here. All right, so if you wanted to test something in a multi-strategy, you could just go right-click, go to Strategies, you go to each one, and you can backtest strategy like that. You can pop it out if you want to, but you can now also backtest it from here. But you cannot backtest the whole window at one time. All right, let me see if there's any more questions I missed. Got Diego, she left. All right. All right, guys. Well, to sum it up, before I bring Scott in here, guys, I really think if you have premium, especially if you're grandfathered in before November 15th, and if you're not, you definitely need to think about getting this. It is an incredible tool. I'm getting more and more fond of it every day because it really is a way for you to obviously there's going to be days where you're going to be it's going to be more difficult to track than the others. I mean, this was a kind of a nice little pattern today where you ran into support. It was easy for me as a longtime trader to know, hey, I better start banging it out right here, and get out of these shorts. But this is just so nice because I know, especially traders that really don't know what to do in the morning. They're all over the place looking at all these alerts, momentum alerts. So I grab that. This is a way for you to basically just set your strategies in there. Let the system, let the machine find you these patterns, find you these alerts. Here's a great analogy I'll give to you. When I was mentoring over in China, what would happen over there is about 450 traders, and what would happen, they'd bring these new traders in, they'll teach them everything, and I'd help teach them, and they'd become good traders, and then they would leave the firm and go somewhere else, to trade for cheap. They didn't like that, so they were getting with me and saying, Andy, can we develop where you're able to, a system where you're able to get the traders into each trade, so that way they wouldn't even know how they are getting into the trade. All right, so basically keep them dependent on me or the system to find good trades for them, and then that they could manage those trades from there. And course, at the time, we didn't have the technology. This was years and years and years ago. But when I thought about this, that came to my mind. This is what this is doing for you. It's finding you. It's you're building these strategies that are back tested and work, and now they're finding, you're sitting back and it's finding you the good trades, and it's firing them off for you. And then all you're doing is then you're managing them. And I tell you, if you know anything about trading at all and you're able to manage a position, you're going to be more effective than the back testing results are. Okay, because the back testing doesn't see everything that you see in the market that's going on. Okay, you are testing a strategy based upon a 60-minute hold. That strategy is going to hold that position for 60 minutes unless you hit your stop, no matter what. But you're sitting here looking at the market, and you, like I said, you're seeing things that the strategy isn't just in a machine and it does not see. So you're able, if you need to, exit sooner. In other words, profit save. In other words, reduce risk. So man with machine, I think this is going to be a great tool for man and machine. All right. You're welcome, Diego. I know you dropped something in there. Send that to info if you need more help on that. I need to bring Scott in. Okay, we're running out of time here, and he's going to walk us out. And you guys hang on. Scott's going to have a nice code for you. All right, Scotty.
Unmuted.
Yeah, hey, thank you. A couple items on the way out. We are selling deposits for the next wave of Brokerage Plus. So if you'd like to get in on the Brokerage Plus release in January, you can go to trade-ideas.com/brokerage plus and make a deposit. The deposit's $100, and that goes towards the total of $1,100 for the lifetime license for Brokerage Plus. It does require a premium subscription to Trade Ideas and currently interact with brokers, but all the details are on the trade-ideas.com/brokerage plus page. You can find out how to automate your trading. AI auto trading is going to be coming in Q1 sometime, so that would be a great way for you to ensure that you're in the first wave of people that get access to Holly with auto trading. It's going to be a game changer. There's a great ebook out that's very timely this year. I mean, we've been seeing it this week. You want to have strategies that let you survive in a downtrend in a market where you can't just buy the dip. So get that ebook. It's got 5 great strategies for that. Both Jamie and Andy contributed chapters to it. Trade-ideas.com/ebook if you don't already have it. Just put in your email address to get the download link delivered to you. We have a podcast. We should have a new episode out tomorrow. You can add us to your subscriptions just by searching for Trade Ideas Podcast in whatever podcatcher you use to listen to your podcasts. There's some good archives in there, too. There's past issues with guests. And we're going to have a new up later on tomorrow afternoon. So you can get ready to catch that new one as soon as it comes out. As promised earlier in the webinar, we have a discount code. Alpha Bells is good this month for 15% off your first month or year of Trade Ideas. It is case sensitive, so keep that in mind. And those of you that are standard subscribers wanting to hop on to premium can also use that code and save on your first new installment. Any questions, you got to send it to info@trade-ideas.com. That is the best place because that goes into our help desk software so it can get routed to the best team member to answer your question. You can also follow @QuantBot. That's Jamie on Twitter, and Steve Gomez is @TodayTrader. We also have @TradeIdeas. Facebook.com/TradeIdeasPro is how to find us on Facebook, so you can like our page. And we put some new announcements there sometimes that we don't put on other media, so yeah, it's a good thing to follow if you're on the Facebook. That way you can share that stuff with your friends when it comes out. We'll have a recording of this up later on tonight or tomorrow whenever the conversion's done and up, and you'll get an email reminder about the same time of day tomorrow with the link to the playlist that it's located at, so you can watch it again at your convenience. Thank you, Jamie and Andy. Have a good one.
All right. Thank you, Scott. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow in the sports session.
See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Hey, guys.